Hey guys, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel, Kilos and Cosplay. My name is Sydney, and today we are opening what is probably gonna be my most controversial figure that I will own. You never know, that can always change. But it's definitely one that I'm hesitant to ever even make like a TikTok about, because people will grill you in the comments for owning it. And it is actually a really hard figure to get. If you can't tell by the thumbnail, it is a Ayato B Club Yuri figure. Ooh. So I figured we could open it and also kind of just talk about Ayato B Club and go from there. So before I get into it, I did buy this secondhand from somebody on my figure collection. It is a really hard figure to find. It's especially with the bonus part, which as far as I know, I got the bonus one. It wasn't actually listed under that, but I was looking at the picture that the person had. These are the bonus parts, which is like the ice cream eating part. So I figure let's just talk about YBC and why it's a huge thing. And I just kind of want to voice my opinion on it, as well as just a lot of drama that has happened around it. So ignore, I have my eyelash is coming up. Please ignore that. Okay, so let's actually go ahead and open it up, see how things are, and then we will discuss more about it. So I do know that the box will be in not the greatest condition, which I'm fine with. This person was actually the second owner of it themselves, and I did pay a pretty penny. I did pay $400. I did get free shipping though, which was nice. I know the box is damaged, which is fine. I'm not a box collector, I'm a figure collector, and as long as the figure is good, I really don't care. Yeah, I did pay $400 for this item, but it is super hard to find. It's very hard to find anybody even selling it ever. So I thought $400. I think they actually lowered their price, if I recall right, but I was like, you know what? Why not? So this box is a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. Interesting. Okay. Oh, that's a cute little, they put a cute little thank you note on the top, so I'll just peel that off. It's cute though. I like the little note paper. It's got Pikachu. No, this box is way smaller than I thought it was gonna be. Okay, so here is the box, and it's really not that bad. It kind of made it sound, I didn't think it looked that bad in the pictures, but they made it sound like it was just like absolutely destroyed, like it is kind of caved, whatever, like that's not a big deal. Interesting. Okay, so obviously here it is. I believe this was made by Charani is the Toy Works. I'll have to look that up. I will put what it is made by, but it looks pretty good to me. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about YBC and the controversies. So if you are on TikTok, you would have potentially seen the crazy drama that has gone down over this series. I mean, people act like if you own the manga, you know anything of the series, you're a horrible person, which is not the case. Actually, one of my mutuals on there, and she is pretty well known, especially in like, because she has a huge like BL collection and everything like that. She got so much hate for just saying her opinion on the series one time when somebody would ask her a question, because she answered, and she still does as far as I know, answer any question you give her, and that caused an array, especially of minors who shouldn't even be interacting with the series, to freak out and even start doxing her and harassing her, and it was insane. Like, she handled it really well. I knew she'd be kind of a person to handle that kind of stuff easily, but these minors especially were going crazy with harassing, and then they would start harassing other people. if they would comment or if they also collected anything BL or anything like that. It got crazy, but yeah. It's like, I don't care how you feel about this series. It's not even a series I really like love, but I will say it is one of the first series I found, mainly because it does have, I believe, just a 3-episode anime, which, again, I also keep hearing different things on if the mangaka was involved with making the anime or not. Unless I can actually sit down with the translator and talk to the mangaka, I kind of take everything I read with a grain of salt, because there's so much back and forth on what is right and true and what is not. So I just kind of take it with a grain of salt. But I will say YBC is a huge part of what even introduced me to the BL community. If I never found this absolutely wild series, I would have not been able to discover so many other great reads. So it did lead me down to a path of like finding more and really good stories. Is this in my top 10 series? Absolutely not. Is it a series I would recommend for everybody? No. It is very wild and very out there, and I think that's what the problem is. There is a lot of trigger warnings and things that you definitely should look up before if you are going to read it. But as far as I know, and again, this is just what I remember reading somewhere, that this is meant to be in your face, loud, and kind of play on the tropes that are within the BL genre. So I think it was just meant to be wild and basically controversial. And I think it does a fantastic job for that. It's insane. I remember watching that and just being like, oh my god, and then finding out that it had a manga, and I was like, I have to read it. And I like to personally read stories that make me have to put the book down every once in a while and take a deep breath. And this is one of those series. But I do think throughout the, like, all after volume 1, if I remember right, I feel like it settles down a lot. Like, I mean, it's still crazy, it's still wild, but I think you start to just, where it focuses more on the characters and all that. I think the biggest controversy with this is also, we don't know for sure if they are in high school or if they're in a college prep school. And due to the nature of the series, it is a lot. There's a lot of questionable things. But what I don't get is people acting like this is the absolute worst thing that you could ever read, when there's a lot worse out there. Like, has anybody read, like, I think Case Heaven? That one even I'm having a hard time getting through right now. I've only gotten to, like, the first 2 volumes, and it's a lot. And that is set for sure in a high school. So I don't get why we act like this is the absolute worst series to ever be made, when there's a lot worse. Like, I promise you, there's a lot worse out there. So I think it's just because, again, the most colorful, the loudest, and the most wild things are going to get the most attention. And it's going to leave all of the actual good stuff in the dark. And this mangaka has other works too that are better than this and actually really good. So I just don't get the hate. I don't understand why people hate it so much. But I did always want to get this. It's not really a grail, but it is something I did hope to eventually obtain for not a horrible price. Because I never see this sold, and 2, I always see it for at least $600 to $1,000. So $400 was not bad to me, especially with free shipping. So I am very excited to open this up. It's wild, it's weird, but kind of like that. So everyone is allowed to have their opinion on things, but what's not going to be allowed is doxing people and throwing out wild accusations about people. To go to each person, anybody who reads BL or has read this series, and call them I don't know if these words are bad to use on YouTube, so I'm gonna put it over here. That's an insane accusation to make. because most of the people who are reading this, who should be 18 plus, can verify the difference between fiction and reality and leave the fiction in the books. I personally love to read wild, crazy things because I don't wonder I won't ever have to want to experience these crazy things in real life, but also I just like shock factors in my stories. It keeps it interesting. Is it always things that I would agree with? No. If this stuff was happening in real life, I would be very concerned. But to go around and call people bad or like wild words, like that is just horrible. And we should not be throwing those words around lightly because they should be taken serious. If that's the actual case, but for somebody just reading weird manga, we don't need to start freaking out and trying to ruin people's lives unless you can tell that there's something else going on, or they're actually pulling what they're reading and putting it into real life, or pushing these narratives on real life people. Then yeah, we should definitely be concerned. But if we can separate fiction and reality, and I'm not pulling and they're not pulling this stuff that they're reading and putting it into real life, onto real life people, I think it's fine. Because I feel like we all can relate to reading crazy things or liking to read weird things, but it doesn't mean we want any of that happening in real life. So kind of knowing how to separate fiction and reality is a big thing. I do know that fiction can affect reality, and if you are one of those people, I highly suggest not reading very wild stories, and most give trigger warnings, or you can always look them up online. Just go in it very safely if that's something that you know will mess with you, because you don't want that. But I feel like I have even read worse tropes or worse things in a lot of just even straight media and stuff like that. So it's crazy. And then there's also people that say if you are straight, you don't get to read BL, or you can't read GL. And I'm like, I just feel like that's so unfair to try to separate what people are allowed to read based off of their sexuality. That's my long rant. In conclusion, you can feel how you want to feel about the series. If you want to have a discussion in the comments, that is totally fine. We will not be doing name calling or rude things in the comments because I will delete those, but you are very free to voice your opinion. So let me know what you guys think about this whole situation, especially if you were around during the whole TikTok situation regarding this series. Alright, so enough of my rant. Let's just go ahead and get this opened. I do love that he doesn't have a normal base. It is this little this small swimming pool. So he'll just chill in here. I think that's great. Save some space. I wish more companies would do small boxes like this. This is fantastic. All right. Then we will pull Yuri himself out, and he does have little Crocs that are removable. I think that's so funny. And he has his little toenails painted. Oh my goodness, the hand's a little rough with the paint job, but it's only one side. But oh my gosh, I don't know what faceplate I will use, but this is the bonus faceplate, As you can see, his piercing and the ice cream coming off. But overall, like, I will say it's not like the greatest figure I've ever had, and like even looking at the prototypes, I don't think it was like amazing, but it's really not bad. Especially for being, it's not like a super old figure, but being like one of the only Yarge and B Club figures. Alright, so then all the little extra pieces come in here. So if you want him holding the water gun, it does have a different hand you can put in. Then we do have the alternate faceplate. I will do B-roll and close-ups of that. But here we have the little ice cream. I believe for that it just goes here. Between his fingers. Yeah, I think that's it. Super easy assembly. I mean, I really don't know how to do anything. But yeah, I think also, yeah, this is definitely the limited edition one. He's got his belly button piercing. I don't know why this cracked me up. Okay. But yeah, here he is in all his glory. So basically what I see a lot of people display, and I think that's how you're supposed to, is one foot with a croc, and then the other croc just kind of like sits on the ground next to him. But no, that's so funny. But no, here he is. I think it's great, honestly. I think they did a good job, like, not making, like, obviously you can have the lewd kind of questionable looking thing, or you do have an option to not have it, and I think that's fantastic, especially for people who don't want that. I do like this one mainly also because you can see his tongue piercing, and I think that's a great feature that they added. But overall, I'm really excited. It feels so surreal to be owning this because I genuinely didn't think I probably ever would. So I'm pretty hyped about this. He looks fantastic. No, this is great. I can't wait to do some B-roll, but no, they did a really good job actually. This is cool, and this is such a, I just love also how unique this is. I think it's just so different. I don't know honestly if they ever would make, especially because we don't get a lot of like BL scale figures, so I'm just happy to really own anything that I can own BL wise. I would definitely love to see more. I don't know if they would make any more like the cast, but I would like to see more BL scales just be made in general, regardless if it's YBC or something else. So I don't know how popular this was when it first came out. I think it came out in 2019, so I don't know, but no, he looks really good. They did a fantastic job, and overall the paint job is pretty good. Yeah, no, they did a fantastic job. I'm really pleased with this. Yeah. Alright guys, that is really all I have for you. He's very easy to assemble. I'm very excited to have him into my collection regardless of how controversial he can come off. But yeah, super happy. But alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And again, let me know in the comments what you think about this whole series, or just the whole hate with BL going on. It's definitely settled down, but yeah, just let me know what you guys think. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.